The tale of the Djinn on the road between Rabat and Agadir. It is said that on a dark and foggy night, a young man named Yassine set out on a long journey from Rabat to Agadir. He was eager to reach his destination by morning to attend an important business meeting. Despite the warnings from friends and family about the risks of nighttime travel on this route, especially the rumors of Djinn sightings, Yassine felt confident. As he left the city lights behind and drove deeper into the isolated stretches of road between rocky hills, he noticed the darkness around him thickening. His headlights barely seemed to penetrate it, and the usual background sounds of night, crickets, wind, and faint rustles, faded, leaving an unsettling silence. A few hours into his drive, as he approached a particularly desolate stretch, he saw flickering lights in the distance. At first, he thought it might be another car, but as he got closer, he realized there was no vehicle, only a row of faint, flickering lights that seemed to float in the air. Curiosity turned to unease as these lights faded, and in their place, a dark figure materialized in the middle of the road. Startled, Yassine slammed on the brakes, his car screeching to a halt just meters away. The figure stood unmoving, its form hazy, almost as if it were part of the shadows themselves. Despite the bright headlights, he couldn't make out its features. The figure was tall, imposing, and seemed to absorb the light around it. Yassine tried to calm his racing heart and gather his thoughts. But before he could fully process what he was seeing, he heard a whisper, low and menacing, inside his head. The words were in an unknown language, a series of incomprehensible sounds that echoed as if from within his own mind. It was a voice that seemed to seep into his very thoughts, compelling him to leave. The message was clear: this is not a place for the living. Leave, or face the consequences. Yassine's hands trembled as he tried to switch gears, but his body felt heavy, as if weighed down by an invisible force. Just as he felt himself on the brink of succumbing to fear, he noticed a new figure approaching from the side of the road. This figure was human-like, clothed in a traditional white jalaba, with long hair partially obscuring his face. The figure looked directly at Yassine and smiled, a gentle yet eerie smile. "You're in a place that doesn't welcome humans, young man," he said calmly. "But don't worry, I can guide you out. Whatever you do, do not look back, no matter what you hear or feel." Without waiting for a response, the mysterious figure started walking, signaling for Yassine to follow. Trembling but hopeful, Yassine slowly started to drive forward, following the man closely. As they moved along, Yassine began to hear strange noises, whispers, laughter, and even the sound of footsteps crunching along the gravel beside him. Shadows danced in the periphery of his vision, and he felt the prickle of invisible eyes watching him. Resisting every urge to turn and look, Yassine fixed his eyes on the road and on the figure ahead. After what felt like an eternity, he began to see faint glimmers of the city lights of Agadir in the distance. Relieved, he looked forward, but just as the figure had appeared, he vanished, fading into thin air. Shaken but grateful, Yassine drove the rest of the way to Agadir safely. That night haunted him, though, and he shared his experience with those he trusted. Ever since that journey, Yassine has warned everyone he knows not to travel at night along that road, especially in the desolate areas, where, as the stories go, Djinn roam under the cover of darkness.